Okay, so thank you for everyone who has been watching my videos. I'm glad to see that people are interested, and I hope that I'm able to provide you with some useful information. A YouTube user, Ichiban109, asked a bit about my private lesson and how I got it. So basically what I did is I put an ad on Craigslist. So there's a Craigslist in Tokyo, and I just put an ad, English teacher, private lesson, do you want to study English, this is how much, this is where at, and I got about 6 or 7 responses. But when it came down to it, I really only had time for 1 or 2 lessons. So I did a couple trials, I met with a few students, and I decided there was one student, Kaz, who you can see in one of my other videos. I decided he was going to be the one private lesson I took. There's a couple different reasons why I took him. I'll go over that here in a second. But after I put my ad, I got the responses, then I met with them and we discussed, the price, how often we're going to meet. It was pretty casual, so there's no contract or anything like that. It's just an agreement. He pays me in cash, and that's it. But we usually meet pretty close in between both of our homes. So we meet in Kokubunji at the Denny's, and usually we just get coffee, or we go to another little coffee shop, and usually sometimes he pays for the coffee, sometimes I pay for my own. He pays for my travel, and he gives me my costs. So I charge $15 an hour for my private lesson. Some would say that's low, and it is. It's on the low side. I don't think you can go much lower than that. I don't think it wouldn't be worth your time, probably. However, for me, I don't think my lesson is worth $40, $50 an hour. So for me, I chose $15 an hour, or 1,500 yen, because simply my lessons, I don't have to do much for them. My private lesson, I show up. Kaz usually has some text, either an article or a book, that he wants to practice. So he practices reading, we practice just normal conversation, we talk about the day, the stock market, the US economy, the Japanese economy, the elections, whatever is in the news, whatever is just pop culture, he and I talk about. So we spend about an hour just in free conversation. Then we spend about another hour reading. We practice his pronunciation, his intonation, his grammar, things like that. And then sometimes maybe we'll practice a little bit of actual grammar. We'll get into like a grammar book and practice tense and things like that. So, but usually for the most part, I don't have to do anything except show up and talk and use my native English. So for me, $15 an hour, I usually do 2 hours each session, so that's 3,000 yen or 30 US dollars. So for me, that's why I priced it at that. And it's pretty easy to find a private lesson here in Japan, especially if you're in the Tokyo area like I am. Just put a listing, put it on Craigslist, and wait for those people to respond, and they will.